Hello, welcome to Practical Piano. My name is Tia. I've been playing piano for 20 years and teaching for 10, and this is a practice session video. So what happens in practice sessions is I practice piano, and whenever I think of something that would help you as a pianist make your practice better, I stop and talk about that thing. I am all about practicing better, not just playing piano better, but actually doing your practice better. Because if you can improve the systems you use to practice, you will improve your efficiency and effectiveness at practice, which means that you're going to learn your music faster and deeper and better. So I warmed up earlier during a practice that I didn't film, and I warmed up with major keys, and I went a bit fast. And now I'm going to do some minor keys, because I usually start with majors and then I don't get around to minors. And this is something that will help you if you're practicing technique for an examination like RCM, is try and do your technique out of order. Don't always start at the start, because inevitably you're going to give whatever you start with more practice, and whatever you're ending with is more likely to get dropped if you have less time or if you don't feel like continuing with your technique that day. So sometimes start with your majors, sometimes start with your minors. And I'm going to have to remember next time, start with my minors. All right, let's do melodic minors, because I always tend to go harmonic first. So we'll do out of order. We'll do B minor melodic. I have to think for a moment about how this goes. Let's do it again. Now that one feels pretty good. Let's see how far off we are from the timing we need. So when you're prepping for an exam, they tell you how fast you have to play your different techniques. So I'm going to find out how fast am I going to have to play that eventually. I have to do 4 beats for 1 tick. I don't think I can do that yet. All right, nothing will show up your weak points like going fast. Let's try left hand. Oh, it happened again. Okay, so I am nowhere near the speed that they are asking for, but let's try 100 instead of 120. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Might be able to do that. Okay, let's do both hands. Let's see how that goes. Now, I'll talk about that for a second. So, as I started to practice that, as I prepared to practice that scale, hands together, I took a breath and held it, and then I became aware of that, and I was like, wait, no, don't hold your breath. Because if you hold your breath when you're playing, you're going to increase your anxiety and your tension. You want to train yourself to breathe, and it's difficult, and sometimes it takes some focus. And so what I did when I played that time around was I breathed as I played. It's going to be hardest to breathe as you're counting. So if you're finding you're holding your breath when you're practicing, but you have to count out loud, then as you count, go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... You don't have to hear every sound because you can't make every sound if you're breathing in or if you're breathing out. That was also pretty fast counting, but it'll work still with slower counting as well. So that's what you can do if you have to count out loud and you need to focus on breathing, is allow yourself not to make some of those sounds. Keep the time as you're going. You can bob your head maybe, that'll help you keep time. But breathing is very important, so sacrifice some sound when you're counting for the sake of breathing. All right, now the other thing that I'm doing here, I want to work on getting my speed up on these scales. So that's why I'm testing, can I play at the full speed? Right now, I cannot play at the full speed. I might be able to play a couple of the majors at full speed, maybe, but it's okay if I can't. So how are we going to get from not being able to play at full speed to being able to play at full speed? First, I find the speed that I'm comfortable at right now. I set it for 100, and when I last played this, it was a tiny bit messy, not super messy. It was pretty good, and I was able to keep track of which notes I needed to play. So that's a good speed for me to practice at. So now what I'll do is whenever I'm focusing on the speed of my scales, I'll write this down and I'll go 100 beats per minute, 1 tick for 4/16. Should be tick, and I play 4. Let me do that in slow motion so you can see it. Tick, 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 tick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And so then what I'll do is the next few times that I practice, I will play at this comfortable 100 beats per minute speed. And when I'm comfortable with all my scales at 100 beats per minute, then I'll try and up it a little bit to the next segment on my metronome, and we'll go 104 beats per minute. Now, how are you going to get your speed faster if you don't use a metronome? There are several reasons somebody wouldn't use a metronome. One, it takes a long time to train to it and to play accurately to it. And it takes a lot of patience and concentration, and you need a bit of guidance on how to do that at first. So if you can't play to a metronome, it could be because you haven't trained to it yet. The other thing is the ticking sound can actually be very anxiety-provoking in some students. And so it doesn't matter how much they train to it, it makes them feel bad. It makes them feel really stressed out. And your playing is not going to be good if you're stressed out. And so sometimes the ticking sound is alarming for students. And that could be a case of you can't play to a metronome. Now, it might not be alarming, but it might cause you sensory overwhelm, which is a different kind of stress. It might not make you like this, but it'll make you, there's too much going on. And so that could be another reason why you wouldn't use a metronome. If you feel either of those ways, don't push yourself to use it and push through those feelings and stifle them down. Don't do that, because it's not worth sacrificing your well-being to play to a metronome. Instead, the way that you can practice and build your speed is do lots of slow practice and count out loud, because counting out loud, you'll be able to keep your own rhythm. Now, if you're counting out loud, one thing you might want to implement if you don't feel the rhythm, you know how some people talk about feeling the rhythm or feeling the music. If you don't feel the music, then what I want you to do is nod every time you hit a 1 beat. So if you're going 1 and 2 and, sorry, not if you hit a 1 beat. Every time you hit an entire beat. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, or 4 in most cases, you'll nod. So you can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And if you nod, it might feel and look awkward at first, but it's going to benefit you because whenever you put a body motion to something, you're going to start to feel the rhythm. So when people talk about feeling the rhythm and you can't, that's what you want to do because this will train you to feel the rhythm. You can also get to feeling the rhythm when you're listening to music and not just when you're playing it. So if you've ever been listening to a song and you're like, oh yeah, this is a really good song, and you're following the rhythm because you like the song, you can feel where the pulses are. So maybe next time you're listening to a song you really enjoy, try tapping your feet or bobbing your head to the rhythm. So that went a little off course. What if you're trying to get faster without a metronome? First of all, you establish a good rhythm by counting, like we talked about. Nod your head if you need some help feeling out the rhythm. Once you're very comfortable and very steady with whatever it is you're working on, whether that's scales or music, once you're very comfortable and very steady and you can count without losing your pace, then you can do 5 times super slow practice and count, and then try it 1 to 3 times as fast as you possibly can. Try and play it just as fast as you can. And don't worry too much about mistakes. Notice that you make mistakes and notice where they are because you're going to focus on those when you do your slow practice. Don't focus on fixing mistakes at first in your fast practice. Do it all in your slow practice. Because what you do in your slow practice translates to your fast practice. So that's how you can get faster without a metronome. Establish a very steady rhythm, get very good at counting, then do super slow practice 5 times, as fast as you can up to 3 times. Super slow practice 5 times, fast as you can up to 3 times. Now the reason I'm saying up to 3 times is because the more that you play fast, the more your song will fall apart. Because your brain has taken in all the information about the song, cataloged it. And when you ask it to play really fast, you're trying to say, remember everything I told you really, really fast. And it can only do that accurately a few times, and then you have to put the information back in. So if you're doing fast practice, also do slow practice, because in slow practice, you're going to think about all your notes, think about all your counting, think about all your fingering, think about all your dynamics. And what will happen is your fast practices will make it so that your baseline, when you're going slow, you will naturally start to speed up. Don't look to speed up. It will just happen. And then your baseline of how slow you play, that gets a little higher. And then the next time you play as fast as you can, you'll be going slightly faster. You might not notice it. You might notice it if you record yourself. So if you want to notice it, record yourself. Maybe record your practice once a week. Because if you record it every day, we have ups and downs. And so if you review today compared to yesterday, that's not much. But if you review today compared to last week, that's much better. All right, that was a big talk. We have to do some practice. Now, earlier I played some of Fugue, and it actually went very nicely today because I didn't pound away at it, and I was just trying to get it done in the little bit of time that I had left. So I went a little easier on myself. So we're going to try that again as I play it now, because Fugue is not my favorite song. And so when I've been practicing it before, I was just like plugging it away, make sure everything's exact, do it right, kind of grumpy. And so that comes across in your playing, and it impacts how you learn. So today, I feel like making friends with Fugue a little bit. So we'll play it like it's a friend, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try and play it musically, because there's got to be a way to play the song that it will sound pretty to some degree or another. Oh, those were supposed to go at the same time. Okay, let's go from here. Nope. Whoops. Oh no, hold the top one, not the bottom one. Hold that one. Okay, let's mark in where we're holding the notes here. Oh, that one keeps holding because it's a tie. This one holds. This one holds. Now, the way I mark out holds might be helpful for you, so I'll show you that on the screen. Wherever I need to hold a note, I'm drawing an arrow until the end of the place that I need to hold it. The arrow is going to the side. The arrows that you see going up mean lift here. That's what I use those for. But the ones that are going to the side are hold this. Hold the top. I keep holding the bottom. Lift the bottom. Okay, let's try that. I just need to hold the top one. Stop there. Okay, now I'm noticing that when I practiced this by myself, I was much more free than when I'm practicing right now. And so that reminds me of how different it is to practice when there's someone else around. And it's something that you should do as frequently as you can. So it's great to practice by yourself. You get to be very free. You get to like pound away at whatever it is you need to pound away at. And you can make a lot of progress that way. But life is such that we don't always have perfect environments. And so whenever possible, practice when you have somebody around, preferably who's supportive or who's a complete stranger and doesn't care. And take every opportunity you have to either play for your teacher, play at a recital, play for your friends, play for a visitor, play on camera. Even if you're not showing the recording to anybody, hearing yourself on a recording is tense. And so if you even turn a camera on, you're going to increase that level of self-awareness. Another way you could do it is you could record it and then show it to somebody. And especially if you're playing a song and you're like, I don't know where my mistakes are, there aren't any mistakes. If you play on a recording and then you show the recording to somebody, you're suddenly going to be extremely, almost excruciatingly aware of where your mistakes are. So use that if you need to figure out where your mistakes are. Don't use that if you're stressed out about playing in front of people. Instead, do the other things. Play in front of your camera, play in front of strangers. It can be pretty nerve-wracking, but the benefit for you is that you know the strangers don't know you personally and they don't care. So for some people, that's a relief. Anyways, play in those circumstances as much as you can, and you will acclimate to that level of stress, and you'll be able to play under pressure. And if you can play under pressure, I'm not sure why that's beneficial, but it seems to be. I found that being able to play in front of strangers gave me a kind of confidence that I didn't have otherwise. So it could be that. It could be that it makes you feel more confident because you've done something in front of somebody and you lived, even if it was embarrassing or you made mistakes or you weren't perfect with what you were playing. So whenever you can, take the opportunity to play in front of somebody. Also, the other thing, the main thing actually that I wanted to talk about was students often will be in a lesson and they'll be like, this song was going so good at home. And now that I'm here, it's not good. And I go, I believe you. I believe you're doing that work at home, and I believe that it's great at home, just like you're saying. Because when you practice at home without those stressors around, and then you come and you sit down in a formal environment with a teacher watching your every move, ready to tell you, okay, we need to work on this, or you're doing pretty good here, but you need to fix that note. When you have that happening, it is going to be stressful. It gives you this extra level of stress, which means you're going to make more mistakes, because whenever you're stressed out, you can't think as clearly as you can when you're relaxed. But keep putting yourself in that situation, keep going to the lessons, and you will eventually relax bit by bit so that you're not quite as stressed out as you were before. As far as I know, there will always be a little bit of tension. With the progress that I've made and with even the friendliest teacher, I still get a little bit tense when I play for a piano teacher. So as far as I know, the tension is always there, but it gets easier and you become stronger and more capable and confident. So keep doing it. All right, that's enough on Fugue. We only have a few minutes left. So let's play, let's do Rialto Ripples. Actually, you know what? I'm feeling calmer. I'm not feeling this energetic. We're gonna do Hidin Place. So I'm choosing my selection based on my frame of mind and my emotional space. So if you're feeling super energetic, play your energetic songs. If you're feeling sad, play your sad songs. If you're feeling tired, play your slower songs or things that you're comfortable and easy with. If you're angry, play something energetic, I guess. Although I wouldn't recommend practicing when you're angry because you'll tend to injure yourself. So maybe don't practice when you're angry and go do something else. But anyways, try and match your mood when you're practicing because it'll work better than trying to play something really happy when you're not. or trying to play something slow when you've got this much energy and you're snapping and raring to go. Match your own energy. Okay. This one is here. Nope, it's here. Okay, let's play that again. I have a few pauses, so we're going to go a little slower, and that will help me focus on what comes next. It'll give me a little more time, and then hopefully I'll have less pauses. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. What is this? There we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and let's play that section again. That was a bit rough. 1 and that's a 4 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. C sharp and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 C sharp. 2 and 3 and 4 and Okay, speaking of playing in front of people, one thing that's going to make it harder is if you're worried about your mistakes. Now, of course, we're supposed to pay attention to our mistakes and try and fix them. But if you've polished a piece and you've got it the best you can get it, when you go and play in front of somebody, there's a chance that it's going to work out great, there's a chance that it's going to work out medium, and there's a chance that you're completely going to bomb. And that's the risk you're taking when you go and play in front of somebody. Now, ideally, we like to be in a relaxed situation where if you do happen to bomb, you can go, okay, look, give me a bit to warm up. That's the timer, it's time to go. Give me a bit to warm up and let me play this again for you. And you can do that in a relaxed setting. It's harder to do that at a recital. Now, what you can do if you bomb and you get halfway through your song, you can go, okay, you know what? Shake it out, take a few breaths, start again. Because nobody's going to fault you for doing that. Or, depending on your personality and what you've been trained to do, you could just press through with the song. Anyways, I had a point here. So yeah, we're concerned about mistakes, but not extremely. The main thing is that you've put the work in, you've invested that effort. And counterintuitively, the less that you care about making mistakes, the fewer mistakes you'll make, because you will relax more. And when you relax more, you're able to be more present and better focused, and you'll make less mistakes. So it's a work in progress to work through, okay, why do I care about making mistakes? Why do I care what people think, etc.? That's a work in progress, and you have to figure it out. But as you get there, and as you just keep going to your performances, keep playing in front of people, just keep doing it, you will get better, and it will get progressively easier. All right, thank you for joining me for this practice session. I hope you found it useful and informative. If you have, please hit the like button. If you know anyone else who also needs any of the information here or who would enjoy the practice session, please share it with them. If you have any questions or you want to let me know how your practice is going, leave it in the comments. And if you would like more, subscribe.